Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and thank you so much for being here today. As the title suggests, I am going to be showing you my book collection today. My bookshelf tour, you name it. I'm going to be showing you what's behind me and everything that goes into one of my hobbies here. I've lived in my house now for about a year, and I started with these two bookshelves, and then I inevitably expanded and ended up with what I'm going to show you today. So the other day I had the inkling to rearrange. I wasn't quite happy or satisfied with how the shelves were looking, so I popped in an audiobook and I got to reorganizing. So I'm not 100% happy with what it looks like right now, but I think it's much better than how it was a couple days ago. So I'm excited to show you. I'm excited to kind of dive in. If this is one of your first videos with me, this is going to show you a lot about me and what types of books that I read. It's not all of the books, but I do definitely like to collect books, especially some special editions that you'll get to see behind me. I'm excited to share it with you. I'm excited to just film one of these. I love watching these types of videos on YouTube, so I'm excited to actually participate and share my own. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so I figured we'd start in my living room because I have this little bookshelf down here. This is where I keep all of my classics. You can see my Amazon device right here. These are two different bookends that my grandfather actually had. They're like metal, and I like that I inherited it from him. So we've got some classics here. Starting out on the left, we have a honker of the complete tales and poems of Edgar Allan Poe, Little Women, Pride and Prejudice, A Christmas Carol and Other Christmas Writings by Charles Dickens, Dracula by Bram Stoker, Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass by Lewis Carroll, The Women in White by Wilkie Collins, Emma by Jane Austen, and Inferno by Dante. That is my classics collection. Then right underneath it we have some tabletop books. So we have The Humans by Brandon Stanton, and then an Atlas Obscura that has the trees around the world. So both of those are tabletop books. Now we can move upstairs. So then we move upstairs into my bedroom where I have two sets of Billy bookcases. These are Billy bookcases from IKEA. So in the corner of my room, I have the corner set that has the two different little ones, or three different, smaller in width sized bookshelves. And then in the other side, I've got two full-sized Billy bookcases. So we're gonna start over here because this is somewhat of my overflow. This corner one has a lot of books that I've inherited from my parents, my mom specifically, and some of the books that I read as a high schooler. So let me get you set up in an area that you can see better. Okay, so I'm sorry about the weird angle. I kind of have you balanced on a table on the tripod. I'm gonna try to make sure that it's not moving. But my tripod is not the best. So up top, I have a plant. This is a pothos plant that I actually inherited. My mom gave me because she wanted to try new things. And this plant is almost, if not older than I am. So you can see I've got to do some trimmings here, but it's thriving very well. And then over on the center of the bookcase in the corner, there is a New York Central little train that my grandfather used to play play. Used to build different trains, and he had like a train track in the basement that we used to play as kids. So when my grandmother passed away, I grabbed that and now have it displayed. So we're gonna start out in the left-hand corner. So these are some miscellaneous fiction books that I've got. So we have Where She Went by Gail Forman, If I Stay by Gail Forman, One Good Friend Deserves Another by Lisa Verge Higgins, The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo, The Wager by Rachel Van Dyken. The center bookcase is empty right now. I have room to grow. I'm not a huge fan of the fact that that one is the one that's empty, so I might rearrange some things, but for now, that's how it started out. All the way at the top in the right-hand corner, I have the only middle grade and children's books that I own. River Magic by Ellen Bookram, The Land of Stories, The Wishing Spell by Chris Colfer, Thumbelina by Hans Christian Andersen, and I inherited that from my grandmother. That's one that I have displayed because I used to read it as a kid. So it's seen better days, but it has a lot of memory for me. Let's move you on down. This shelf, I have some more classics. Let's move that over here. First and foremost, I have Mansfield Park by Jane Austen, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, Farewell to Arms by Hemingway, This Side of Paradise by F. Scott Fitzgerald, Tender is the Night, The Last Tycoon by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and you can see this is a little bookmark that my grandma got me that I have displayed. The Sun Also Rises by Hemingway, For Whom the Bell Tolls by Hemingway. In the center here, I have some fiction, some contemporary fiction, as well as mystery and thriller books. Starting out with the decor on the shelf, this is a little fairy house that I got from Michael's, and I thought it was super adorable. The Forgetting Time by Sharon Guskin, Room by Emma Donoghue, The Usual Rules by Joyce Maynard, Year One by Nora Roberts, Chronicles of the One, Prophecy of the Sisters by Michelle Zink, One Came Home by Amy Timberlake, Close to Home by Kara Hunter, Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn, and Leaving Time by Jodi Picoult. On this shelf, I have a lovely portrait of my dog Ethel and my family's dog Millie. Aren't they super adorable? Then I just have the old 2023 Farmer's Almanac that I use to plant my garden. And then to the right here, I have some editions of the Paris Review. That is a collection of poetry, art, and interviews. So if you're interested, this is a subscription that you can join. Okay, on this shelf, I have a beautiful planter that my aunt actually gave me with a spider plant, and you can see she's doing very well. She gave me a little baby. And some of these books are books that I read in high school or grade school, and you know, some more classics, if you will. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, Lord of the Flies by William Golding. You can see it has seen better days. This went through 3 of us, me and my 2 sisters, reading it in grade school. Got Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, 1984 by George Orwell, Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, and The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. Moving to the left. Okay, on this shelf I have some of my astrology books, as well as my collection of crystals. A beautiful zodiac selenite plate that they're charging on, my tarot card set, and some miscellaneous rocks and crystals. Moving from left to right, we have Astrology Using the Wisdom of the Stars in Your Everyday Life by Carol Taylor, Signs by Laura Lynn Jackson, Practical Magic by Nikki Van de Kar, Tarot for Beginners, the 2nd edition by Lisa Chamberlain, Moon Spells by Diane Alquist, Chakra Healing by Margarita Alcantara, and The Crystal Bible by Judy Hall. On this shelf, I only have a picture of the locked library. That is a photo that I bought on Redbubble from the lovely book roast on YouTube here. On this shelf, we have the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. We've got Crave, Crush, Covet, Court, and the last one that came out, Charm, all by Tracy Wolff. This is my shelf of non-fiction books. Starting off with All About Love by Bell Hooks, The Essence of Buddhism by Joe Durden Smith, The Scientific Buddha by Donald S. Lopez Jr., I Am Malala by Malala Yousafzai, With Their Eyes, edited by Annie Toms, Half Broke Horses by Jeanette Walls, Mary Poppins She Wrote by Valerie Lawson, The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls again, Ghost Boy by Martin Pistaras, I Am Nujud, Age 10 and Divorced by Nujud Ali, A Stolen Life by J.C. Dugard, Dr. Fisher's Life on the Ark by Lester E. Fisher, Murder at the French Country Inn by Clyde Dayton, and Wicked by Gregory Maguire. This one is not nonfiction, but I had nowhere else to put it. Okay, here we have the whole Marked series by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. This is one of the series that I loved as a high schooler. Marked, Betrayed, Chosen, Untamed, Hunted, Tempted, Burned, Awakened, Destined, Hidden, Revealed, and Redeemed. Let's move on down. On this shelf, I have some herbal apothecary and gardening books. So starting at the top, we've got Planting for Honeybees, Green Witchcraft, Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magic Herbs, The Modern Herbal Dispensary, The Herbal Apothecary, Master Recipes from the Herbal Apothecary, and Modern Homesteading. Moving to the right. This is yet again one of the book series that I loved as a high schooler. So my sister and I actually read these together. So we've got, it's a Nightshade novel. So we're starting off with Nightshade by Andrea Kremer, Wolfsbane, Blood Rose, and Rift, all by Andrea Kremer. Moving to the right. Okay, I tried to move you closer so you can't see the backlight that's coming from the window over here. Starting out, I've got a Funko Pop of Sharknado. This was one of my going away presents from my sister. I asked her and a lot of my friends to give me something that would remind me of them. So my sister and I always thought this movie was very funny, so she got me that one. Jack by W.M. Paul Young, The Dark Life by Cat Falls, Side by Cat Falls, Percy by Rebecca Lim, Falling for Romeo by Jennifer Lawrence, Hidden Boy by Haley Abbott, Sticky Fingers by Nikki Burnham, Leaving Paradise, Return to Paradise, Perfect Chemistry, and Rules of Attraction, all by Simone L. Gullis, A Dark Flame, Shadowland, Blue Moon, and Evermore by Allison Noel. Moving down. On the last one on the ground, we have all of my kind of help books / guiding books. Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg, 10 Simple Secrets of the World's Greatest Business Communicators by Carmen Gallo, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, Atomic Habits by James Clear, Girl Stop Apologizing, and Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis, Dreams for Kids by Tom Toohey, Canine Enrichment by Shay Kelly, Strengths Finder by Don Clifton, Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking by Susan Cain, and then 2 state park guidebooks. This is very awkward to film this last one. Kind of chaotically put. So we first got all of the John Green books. So we've got The Fault in Our Stars, Paper Towns, Turtles All the Way Down, and An Abundance of Catherines, all by John Green. 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher, Stones from the River by Ursula Heggie, and the reason it is here is because I had to annotate it in high school, and honestly, I absolutely hated this book, but I spent so much time annotating it that I can't part with it. Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, The Queen's Gambit by Walter Tevis, and The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. Moving on to the last shelf on this bookcase. This shelf doesn't actually have any books. It's all of my journals and different memorabilia type books here. So that's the last of the books on this shelf. Let's move over to the next. Since we're here already, I'm going to start at the bottom of this bookcase and I'll give you an overview afterwards. Starting off with the Dominion trilogy, so The Last Girl, The Final Trade, and The First City, all by Joe Hart. Then we have the Paper Magician series, so we've got The Paper Magician, The Glass Magician, and The Master Magician, all by Charlie N. Holmberg. Dune by Frank Herbert, The 10,000 Doors of January, and The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. The First Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. And then we have the Divergent series, Divergent, Insurgent, and Allegiant by Veronica Roth. Let's move to the right. Last bottom, over to the right, I have the start of my Cassandra Clare collection. I'm trying to thrift these, so we've got The City of Bones twice, in 2 different editions. City of Ashes. And then City of Glass, which is the Mortal Instruments. I'm hoping to get the City of Ashes in this type of edition. And then we have Clockwork Prince, which is the Eternal Devices book number 2. So I'm still trying to expand on my collection here. We have Spinning Silver by Naomi Novik. Got Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising, Six of Crows, and The Crooked Kingdom, all by Lee Bardugo. I got this box set at Costco, and it came in a very pretty box, so I just have the first little side of the box displayed there. Let's move on up. On this shelf, I have all of my climate type books and sustainability type books. Climate Change, A Personal Journey Through Science by Philippe Squarzani. This is actually a graphic novel all about climate change. Animal, Vegetable, and Junk by Mark Bittman. Oceans by John Bauer Master. Around the World in 80 Trees by Jonathan Drari. Natural Capitalism by Paul Hawken, Amari Levins, and L. Hunter Levins. The Death and Life of the Great Lakes by Dan Egan. An Inconvenient Truth by Al Gore. Estrogenization by Anthony G. Day. Air Pollution, Its Origin and Control. This is actually a textbook from from my master's in environmental engineering. Amazon's Abolitionists and Activists by Mickey Kendall and A. D'Amico. This is not an environmental book, but I thought it fit here. Green Intentions by Brett Wills. We have Sustainability, A History by Jeremy L. Caradonna. Hyper Objects by Timothy Martin. Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. Silent Spring by Rachel Carson. All We Can Save by Anya Elizabeth Johnson and Catherine K. Wilkinson. Imagining the Future of Climate Change by Shelley Strebe. The Story of Stuff by Annie Leonard. This Changes Everything by Naomi Klein. A Terrible Thing to Waste by Harriet A. Washington. The Big Thirst by Charles Fishman. The Great Derangement by Amitav Ghosh. The Green Book. And Green Chic by Christy Matheson. Moving to the right. This is primarily historical fiction, some fantasy, and we've also got some magical realism in this section. The Last Days of Magic by Mark Tompkins. Fable by R.F. Kuang. Captivate by Carrie Jones. The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. The House in the Cerulean Sea. And Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. I had to move that one. That was in the wrong place. We have Lightlark by Alex Astor, The City of Brass by S.A. Chakrabarty, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer, Cemetery Boys by Aidan Thomas, These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire, The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin, The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. I also have the first one, Six Crimson Cranes, but I am lending it to a friend right now. A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross, Darling Girl by Liz Michaelewski, The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, Thistlefoot by Jenna Rose Nethercott, The Wilder Woman by Ruth Emmy Lang, and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Let's move on up. This shelf is all of my special editions. So we start out on the left-hand side with the decorations. This is a Leo candle. It's one of my favorite scents. And then a cute little, I don't know, hobbit hole that opens, and it also lights up, so it's super cute there. Of Sunlight, A Darkness at the Door by Intisar Kanani. I am missing the first one. These are Fairy Loot editions. We have Seven Faceless Saints by M.K. Lob, also a Fairy Loot edition. We have Lies We Sing to the Sea by Sarah Underwood. This is an Illumicrate edition. Song of Silver Flame Like Night by Emile Wen Zhao. This is an Illumicrate edition. We have The Priority of the Orange Tree and A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon, both Illumicrate editions. Lastly, for the Illumicrate, we have The Book Eaters by Sunyai Dean, In the Bone by Alexandra Bracken, Spice Road by Maya Ibrahim, Welcome to the City of Nightmares by Rebecca Schaefer, Cruel Illusions by Margie Fuston, The Ones We Burn by Rebecca Mix. Moving to the left, we have some series. So first with the decorations, we have a little Funko Pop. He's, a mouse in Cinderella's glass slipper. We have the Batwing bowl from Michaels and little plushie from Disney World. So you can see I have all of the Twisted Tale books. So starting off with the first one, they are in publication order to the best of my ability right now. So we have A Whole New World, As Old as Time, Once Upon a Dream, all by Liz Bracewell, Reflection by Elizabeth Lim, Go the Distance by Jen Kalanita, What Once Was Mine by Liz Bracewell, This Is Love by Elizabeth Lim, Straight On Till Morning by Liz Bracewell, Part of Your World by Liz Bracewell, Unbirthday by Liz Bracewell, Conceal Don't Feel by Jen Kalanita, Mirror Mirror by Jen Kalanita, and Almost There by Farah Rochin. Left, we have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, Caraval, Legendary, and Finale by Stephanie Garber. And then last but not least on this shelf is Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. Now let's move up. On this shelf, I have my ACOTAR series. So we start off with some Novel Wicks candles. We have Starfall. And I Suggest You Drop My High Lady, all by Novel Wicks, which I will link down below if you're interested. A little, crown. We have a poster picture of the Inner Circle. This is by A Touch of Magic Designs, which also did the dust covers that I will show you in a minute. The Barnes & Noble Collector's Edition of ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Super pretty edition, all foily. So I just added special edition dust jackets. It's just the original Barnes & Noble books underneath. A Court of Thorns and Roses. A Court of Mist and Fury. A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames, all by Sarah J. Maas. Let's move to the right. We have Circe by Madeline Miller, Ariadne by Jennifer Saint, Apothecary by Sarah Penner, The Vanished Earth by Erin Swan, The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson, River Sing Me Home by Eleanor Shearer, Thieves by B.Z. Marsh, Kayaki by Vaishnavi Patel, Once Upon a River by Diane Setterfield, Wayward by Amelia Hart, The Cartographers by Peng Shepard, Other Birds by Sarah Addison Allen, The Rules of Magic, and Practical Magic, both by Alice Hoffman. We're almost there. Let's go up. Okay, on this shelf we have some of my science fiction and then my limited horror books over here. So we're going to start off with another novel wicks. This is an ACOTAR candle, Beauty and the Beast. The Circle by Dave Eggers, Ready Player One, and Ready Player Two by Ernest Cline, Grade by Blake Crouch, Fly Girl by Marty Lembach, 1,000 Pieces of You, A Million Worlds with You, and 10,000 Skies Above You, all by Claudia Gray. A picture book, Women in Science by Rachel Ignafshi, Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky, Passage by Justin Cronin, and Small Angels by Lauren Owen. This is my contemporary fiction. We've got some mystery and romance, just kind of all thrown together. House by Salman Rushdie, Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling, The Unsinkable Greta James by Jennifer E. Smith, The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer, No One Will Miss Her by Kate Rosenfield, The Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bow-Lee, Another Novel Wicks Candle, Karen Hem. This is a Throne of Glass candle. We've got Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood, Kids Are Once for Me by Allison Cockram, All the Bright Places by Jennifer Naveen, The Summer I Turned Pretty, It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, The Charm Offensive by Allison Cochran, Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch, People We Meet on Vacation, Beach Read, Book Lovers, all by Emily Henry, and Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. Let's move on up. Okay, my camera battery died when I had 2 shelves left, so hopefully it's in focus. So this is, as you can see, OG, what BookTube, what Book Talk would have been if it was 2008. So I don't think I have to pull these out. We first got the Twilight series, including the new Midnight Sun, all by Stephanie Meyer. We have The Host by Stephanie Meyer, a field guide to Harry Potter up there, and then we have the Harry Potter series up there that I thrifted. So let's move on to the next section. Rest of my Sarah J. Maas collection. So we have another, yet again, Novel Wicks candle, To Whatever End. Cute little dragon. He's like a little earth dragon that I got at Michael's. So then we have The Assassin's Blade, of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. This is all in the OG covers. I have House of Earth and Blood, and House of Sky and Breath, the Crescent City novel, as well as a cute little print that came with the ACOTAR dust jackets of Bryce. It's up top, so we've got yet another little pothos plant that I stole from my mom. We've got a bear, a little Build-A-Bear that fell over. We have my Oktoberfest hat with all of my pins, a little mug that, let's see if I can zoom in. A little mug that came from Disney World at Gaston's Tavern, And then we have a Fairy Loot and Book of the Month box that I both subscribe to, as well as a Lumicrate with my own money. And we have a little monarch butterfly crown. Okay, so that concludes it. Let's wrap up together. So that concludes our bookshelf tour today. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you've read any of these, what your favorite book is, and what you think. I would love to be friends and, you know, subscribe, like, comment, all of the fun stuff. Let's be book friends. And without further ado, thank you so much. That concludes everything. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.